Hi guys, welcome back to Momtalk. It's myself, Dr. Jessica, and Dr. Cassidy today. And we're going to start talking about birth stories. And so we're going to kind of go through our birth stories individually. And then at the end, we're going to kind of wrap it up about how chiropractic helped us, things that we needed to do outside of chiropractic, all of that stuff too. So I guess I'll just begin. So I've had very different births. And I did two very different things to prepare for those births. So I think that is why we had different outcomes, really. So with Walker's birth, it was a lot. I won't lie. It was my first birth. I had a midwife. I loved her. But birth didn't necessarily go as planned. We started off at home. My water broke to start labor, which isn't normal. And I labored at home for almost 40 hours with my water broken. I got adjusted while I was in labor at my house. After that 40-hour mark, we decided, you know what? It's been a really long time. Let's transfer to the hospital. So we transferred to the hospital. It was a great experience. I have nothing bad to say. We went to Big Baylor downtown. They were wonderful. But I did have to go through all of the birth interventions that I didn't want to go through. We, had Pitocin, and they broke my water twice more at the hospital, which is insane. You would think that since my water had been broken for 40 hours and I was continuously thinking that, oh, we don't need to break the water again, but apparently it resealed after every contraction that I had. So we weren't progressing. We had an epidural. And after 54 hours, I had Walker vaginally, which is great. But I pushed for 4 hours. My body worked really hard, and I had a really bad reaction to the epidural. So I ended up with bladder paralysis for almost 4 weeks, which resulted in a severe staph infection. We didn't know about that until it was really late because I couldn't feel anything. Now that pregnancy and that delivery, I got adjusted the whole time. As a chiropractor, I worked on my feet. I was getting adjusted at least twice a week. I was doing all of the things in the office that I needed to do, but I wasn't doing the things at home. Right? I wasn't stretching. I wasn't making sure that I was taking care of my body and preparing for birth. I was like, I'm a chiropractor. I know everything. That has a way of humbling you. That humbled me a lot. And so with second birth with Holland, things were so different. I got adjusted very regularly, sometimes in the morning and then the morning the next day too, just depending on the kind of day that I had and the patient load that I had. I went to pelvic floor physical therapy. I did massage. I took care of my body. I did the work at home and the work in the office. And that's a big point, I think, as to why these two were so vastly different, because Holland's birth was 3 hours long on my bedroom floor. Perfect, amazing, redemptive. No complications. We did great, and I healed great, and no problems. I don't know.
That first birth with Walker, holy moly, there's absolutely no way I could have labored that long without intervention.
40 hours, yeah.
I was in shock that she did that. It's pretty incredible, but she is an incredible person.
Stop.
My labors were, of course, all different too.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of went backwards, Dr. Jessica's was hard. The first one she learned, she figured it out. Second was fantastic. Mine was opposite. My first birth was great. I was working as I had just graduated August and had them in September, so I was in chiropractic school, around chiropractors all the time, got adjusted all the time, literally every day. So Tice, my first son, was 8 hours, easy. No complications, pretty perfect. Tate, my second one, holy moly, was fast. And again, I still got adjusted all the time. I did the work. He was from the first contraction till he came 2 hours. I'm not sure I'd recommend that. I did for like 2 weeks before we gave birth. Every night I was having contractions, so that probably was still, labor. But it was just, I wouldn't say it was easy. The first one was easy. My second one was fast. Well, then it comes to my third one, okay? So I had 2 kids. My chiropractor was in Dallas, so I literally probably got adjusted once a month. Because first of all, I could not log 2 kids down to Dallas. I could barely move. I had gained so much weight. I mean, and that was another thing, is I let my body go on that third one, and it was the worst labor on me and my daughter. My daughter came out not breathing. She quickly was okay, but not taking care of my body that pregnancy, I truly, truly, truly believe that the good Lord does put you through certain circumstances so you learn and so you can teach. So, like
100%.
with this whole walker thing, like, I felt like it took you probably a good year to understand that things happen for a reason.
Oh, 100%.
Especially being
I was so upset.
Especially being a provider, I feel like we kind of get this big head. I'm literally going to say a big head. Like, you get your body aligned, you're going to have the most perfect labor.
It's not true. Yes. Oh my gosh. It's so true though. It is so true, because I was like, oh, I'm a chiropractor.
But it does.
I get adjusted. I'm doing the things in the office.
It does help. Chiropractic does help. And chiropractic is a huge piece of the puzzle, but it's not the only piece of the puzzle.
It's just a small portion, right? We're only in the office such a short period of time, really, and you guys are only here such a short period of time. There's so much more work that needs to happen outside of here for you to have the birth experience that you want, and the birth outcome that you want.
And I tell people it's like training for a marathon, right?
For sure.
Like, you would never go out and run a marathon without training well, having a good coach. I mean, that is a huge piece of the puzzle, is having a good coach and a good team. And then also for recovery. Getting adjusted is so important, but you can't get adjusted and not stay active, eat well, prepare for birth. I mean, birth is probably one of the hardest things you'll ever go through.
Yeah.
So you have to do the work, eating well. Like I said, my third one, I gained 80 pounds. I think I probably ate ice cream every single night.
Yeah.
So no wonder I didn't get adjusted, didn't eat well. I did not prepare myself for a marathon. So really preparing and having a good coach, right? Midwife, hospital, all them, just make sure you have a good coach. Like, my midwife was fantastic. I didn't need a doula because she was with me and she coached me. Sometimes there are midwives that have multiple births going on, which is fine. They can't be, then you need a doula. If you're going to the hospital, you need a doula, or teach your husband or whoever, somebody to teach you, to coach you, because I'm going to tell you right now, when you're in the middle of labor, you cannot think. You cannot make decisions. You need someone that actually knows what's going on to help you during birth. And so, like I said, I had a phenomenal team. I just didn't prepare myself like I should on that third baby. Yeah. And being a chiropractor, I should know better. But being a mom is tough.
But also, you're a human being, right?
And I had 2 little boys.
Yes.
It was like making it to Dallas. I'm like holding on dear life with these 2 kids so they don't run out somewhere. And so I didn't take care of myself. But like
that's
I said,
the whole point, right? Like, you do have to take care of yourself. Your birth team is just as important. I had the same doula for both of my births. She's amazing. I would recommend her to anybody and everybody. I love her so very, very, very much. And not that Jared wasn't capable. Jared was very capable. She just was different.
Well,
right?
The husbands, right? Like, my husband is fantastic, but they don't know.
No, they don't do this every day.
Yeah, and
it's
they don't
not
even
what
know,
they do.
Like, they probably don't even understand that the pelvis needs to be in a different position to make the baby drop, right? They just 100%. Don't know. I mean, and my husband's sweet as all get out, but my second birth, my husband delivered the baby. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
You didn't hear this story?
No, I didn't know the Trevor delivered.
Okay, so we're gonna get into this one.
Okay.
So second baby. So that was the one every night for like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
I was getting up all night, had contractions. I'd wake up and they'd be gone. Like I was so flustered. I was over it. So I felt like labor was never gonna come. So it was about 5 o'clock. I kind of started like feeling crampy, and I knew my husband was going to be home at 6, so I didn't call him. No big deal. And so he walks in the door, and I'm like, oh, I am not feeling so good. And he's like, oh, honey, this has been going on for 2 weeks. I'm like, I don't know, this feels a little different. You know, I was walking around the house doing laps, and I'm like, oh, this feels different. Then I'm like, oh, you know, this feels really bad. I was like, do you mind just checking me? He's like, literally, I just walked in the door and contractions just started. I mean, it was 8 hours last time. You're fine. We'll call the midwife. And she was like, oh, call me in a couple hours. And I was like, yeah, this doesn't feel right. The next contraction came, and I literally looked at him, grabbed him by the shirt, and I said, check me now. He checked me. The head was out. The baby was coming out, and we had no idea. He starts running around the house like a crazy person, freaking out. On the phone with 911. Not the midwife, called 911. And then I was like, get me to the bathtub. Got me to the bathtub, turned it on. When he went to go turn on the bathtub, broke a mirror everywhere. So there's glass everywhere. And then I just turned on and I said, all you have to do is catch this baby. So literally, I'm in a bathtub with broken glass. He has his hands like this and catches the baby in a bathtub of broken glass.
No.
Before 911, midwife, anybody gets there.
Oh,
then he's on the phone, and
goodness.
they're telling him, you've got to cut the cord, you got the cord. So he's cutting a shoestring off his shoe, wrapping a shoestring on my baby's umbilical cord. I mean, it was chaotic. And then my midwife walks in and was like, what are you doing? But that was the second one. So Trevor obviously is extremely close to my second child because he delivered him. I mean, I delivered him. He caught the dang baby freaking out. You know what I mean? So that was my second one. That was a pretty interesting.
So funny. That's funny, actually.
Yeah.
But that's why you need a doula. That's why you need a doula, because a doula, like,
men don't know.
They don't know. They don't know.
Yeah.
With Holland, I've had this picture while I'm like literally like Captain Morgan, like leaned over the side of my bed. Holland is about to come, and Jared pulls out a pocket knife and cuts off a string off the back of my robe. I have this picture. I have to show you. It's insane. Because he wasn't. That's not where he was like, oh, I gotta get the string. Not like baby's coming. Not she's in labor. He's like, gotta get the string. Meanwhile, Caitlin's behind me like hip squeezes and everything. And I'm like, this is why you need a doula. This is why you need a doula.
Husbands
Your
are
birth
great.
team is so important.
So important.
And the birth team can mean a lot of things. Chiropractor, pelvic floor physical therapist, massage therapist, doula, midwife, OBGYN. It's so many people. Acupuncturist sometimes, right? It's so chiropractic is important, but it is a small portion of the bigger picture, right?
And it's also your birth, your choice. You choose who's going to be there and who's part of your team.
100%.
But just choose wisely. In chiropractic, why? How does chiropractic help the birth? Okay, the obvious, right? You have a pelvis, right? You want that pelvis in a good alignment. 90% of the time when a woman lays on my table pregnant, they have a short leg. What does that mean? It means the pelvis is rotated, right? A baby can come out just fine like that, but not very easy. So we get that pelvis in a good alignment by moving the bone, ligaments, tendons to get that baby in a good position. Well, when you have your pelvis in a good position, then that baby can be in a good position, because your pelvis is how the baby comes down, but the passenger that's coming down also needs to be in a good position. And if they don't have, so if you have a tension like this, all the ligaments are pulled too, that baby can't move in a good position to go down too. So chiropractic, getting the pelvis in a good alignment, allows the passage to be good, but allows the passenger to be good too. So chiropractic yes, a piece of the puzzle, because labor is so intense. You need more, but it's such a huge piece of the puzzle.
For sure, absolutely. So like she's showing you pelvis like this, right? But if you're looking at like this from the top down, if we have rotation, that occludes that space, right? So baby can't get in there as well as it should, right? But when we're here and open, we can move through a lot easier, right? So if we look at that visual here, that changes a whole lot of things, right? Not only that, but like the pelvic floor too. So not only just the opening up top, but down below as well. There's so much in that pelvic floor where if those ligaments are tight, we're gonna have a really hard time expanding down there as well. And baby does have to come through a pretty small opening, and so that has to be able to expand appropriately for baby to move through more easily.
Well, and I mean, your uterus is a muscle, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does a muscle contract? Nerve, innervation to that muscle. That's how it contracts. And like when your baby is growing, it's pulling on right here. These are the nerves that go to your uterus. And so if we have inflammation around in your nervous system, those nerves going to your uterus are just not firing. Those muscle contractions cannot be as strong as they need to be if we don't have proper nerve and blood supply to the uterus, the muscle to get the baby out, right?
Absolutely. And when we talk about nervous system too, we talk a lot about fight or flight. This has a lot to do with birth as well, right? Birth is a fight or flight situation, but if you have been in fight or flight the entire pregnancy, right, and leading up to birth, your body is going to fight that situation as well, right? Because it's going to feel like it's, you know what, I've been attacked this entire time, and now we're getting even more troops being sent to us to fight us. It's going to have a lot harder time getting through that stressful situation if we've already been stressed. So we need to make sure that we are not stuck in that fight or flight or that sympathetic nervous system, and get you back into that parasympathetic load, that rest, that digest, that healing part of our nervous system, in order to, when we get to that big event, that big fight, we're able to have the reserves available to make it through that.
Yep. So again, chiropractic, pelvis in a good alignment, the passenger, the baby in a good pelvic floor, fight or flight, nerve input to the organs. So important. So we are so glad y'all joined us today. You know, every birth story is an amazing story.
Yeah.
It may not go exactly the way you wanted it to do, but you have a healthy baby. It's your story, and be proud of it, mama. Mm-hmm. No matter what, it's your birth story, and it is an amazing story.
Yeah, and you did a good job, no matter how it went, right? Like Cassidy said, I think it did genuinely take me almost a year to be like, actually, there's a lot of good that can come from this. I think it made me a better doctor. I think it made me a more compassionate person. It humbled me a lot, which was super important for me. And that too is like, it cannot go as planned, but there's always redemption at the end of that, and it's okay. You're healthy. That's important too. Not just your baby, but you're healthy. Your baby's healthy. Your nervous system is healing in an appropriate way. So this is something that we are super passionate about. It's something that we want to help you through. And if it's not us, then we'll find somebody who is a good fit for you as well, because what the most important thing at the end of the day is that you get the care that you need and the team that you need to walk you through or help you walk through that journey.
Yep, and we would love to be part of your team.
Yep, we would. All right, guys. We will see you guys again next month for Momtalk. But until then, we'll see you in the office.
See ya.
Bye.